All right, today we're going to talk about choosing your own Linux adventure. There are many options, and we're going to explore a few of them. First, one thing that people always want to mention is that learning Linux and using Linux can build skills. Skills that might allow you to change jobs, start a business, or you can just do it as a hobby, which is perfectly fine as well. You can make this a family activity. Get your kids exposed to technology at an early age without breaking the bank. Again, you can make this the backbone of a family hobby. You can use free tools for the maintenance of computers regardless of what OS they run in your household. Servers, Linux, and other Unix and Unix-like operating systems lend themselves well to server usage. So you could set up a NAS, network attached storage. You can set up a private social media server that you have full control over. And this is going to be a safer option for kids where they can learn about social media and learn what not to post. So you might start your kids off on something like this before they're old enough to have an account on something like Facebook. So you can have those discussions with them about what not to post, and that, this stuff can be found even if you delete it. Set up a private chat server. Again, you can work on teaching best practices or set up any other kind of server that you can dream up. Your imagination is your only limit here. There are many, many resources available that will help you go down this road. Productivity. If you're tired of paying for Windows or Mac OS, you can make the switch to Linux or BSD as your primary operating system on your desktop. It can also be used as the brain of your smart home project. And there are many special purpose Linux distributions out there. If you're setting up a new computer, you might like Parted Magic OS. This will allow you to partition your hard drive before you go to install your operating system on it. If something goes wrong with your computer, the System Rescue CD provides many tools that will allow you to diagnose the problem and, in many cases, resolve the issues without resorting to high-priced utilities that are available on the commercial market. Kali Linux. If you're interested in networking and security, Kali is going to be your friend. It is going to allow you to learn things that most people will never know about their networks, and it will allow you to find ways to make yourself safer in the process. Ubuntu Studio. If you have a musical slant or graphics might be your thing, or video editing, or 3D rendering, you might want to take a look at Ubuntu Studio, which comes with many of these packages preloaded and ready to go after your install. Mythbuntu. This is one of those Linux distributions that will allow you to run a media center on a PC. Tails is geared at high security. Linux CNC. This is for 3D printers and is a rather interesting project that allows you much more control than the software that typically comes with a 3D printer. And Vortex Box. This will allow you to set up a machine and it will auto rip CDs for you to the FLAC format. which is a lossless audio format. This is great for those of us that have large CD collections and started collecting them long before streaming services were available. Moving on. The Raspberry Pi. It goes without saying that along with Android, the Raspberry Pi is a force to be reckoned with. They are together two of the largest projects that are pushing the use of the Linux kernel and non-Windows operating systems. Many people use the Pi as the basis for smart home projects. There are, however, many uses for the Pi, which we'll take a look at next. If you want to learn fundamentals of computing, there are many general operating systems for the Raspberry Pi. A few of them listed here: Raspbian, OpenSUSE, Fedora, Alpine Linux, Arch Linux, Tiny Core Linux, Diet Pi, Minibian, Gentoo, and Manjaro. Other uses for the Raspberry Pi. You can use it as a low-power desktop for basic web browsing. You can use it for running an operating system you may not have used before, such as RISC-OS. RISC-OS was not generally available in the US, but it was very popular in the UK in the 80s and into the 90s. The ARM processor that powers the Raspberry Pi and your cell phones was originally developed by a company called Acorn, and Acorn also built the RISC-OS, and so it runs natively on the Raspberry Pi. All right. Moving on, you could build your own media center to replace or augment a Roku or Fire TV or maybe your Apple TV even. And there are distributions built for this purpose. OSMC, OpenELEC, LibreELEC, and Rasplex all allow you to do this. And then there are other special purpose options. RetroPie for game emulation, RuneOS is a digital music player, Volumio is a music player, Recalbox is game emulation, Laka, game emulation, ChillPie Kiosk allows for building software monitors or dashboards. It does boot into a full screen Chrome browser. And then Octopi is a system aimed at running 3D printers. More special purpose options. Hypriot allows for the deploy and orchestration of Docker container clusters. Resin OS is for running Docker images. Open Media Vault for network attached storage. Armbian allows you to emulate the Commodore Amiga computer line, which was very popular in the 80s and 90s, especially for playing games. Combian 64 emulates the Commodore C16, 64, 128, and others, such as the PET, which was released back in 1977. You've got Flint OS, which is similar to Chrome OS, and FreeBSD, which is a BSD Unix system. It's not Linux, but it will run on your Raspberry Pi. And to wrap up, you have many options. Pick somewhere to start and run with it. Using Linux or BSD does not have to be an expensive or scary option. There are many resources available online that are just a Google or insert your favorite search engine here, search away. And that brings us to the end of our video for today. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the bell icon for updates of when I release new videos. You can always leave comments down below. And the best of the best will get published publicly. Until next time, this is Jeremy signing off for Practical IT. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.